Welcome to Impact Makers Radio, featuring industry thought leaders sharing problem-solving insights to help grow your business and live the life you love. And here's your host, Stewart Andrew Alexander.
Hi, and welcome to another Let's Talk Divorce conversation. And during this segment of the show, ladies and gentlemen, I have attorney Vincent Ward, owner of Help You File Inc., calling in all the way from sunny Sacramento in California. Now, Vincent, who's an experienced attorney in the area of family law, will be talking to you today about handling your own family law case. Now, that sounds like a very interesting topic, because who does that? Who handles their own case? So this is going to be really interesting to get a different perspective from Vincent today. So with that said, if you are one of the increasing numbers of people who are going through divorce in the Sacramento, California area, it might be a good idea just to down tools, take a break, log out of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or anything else you happen to be doing which may cause a distraction. And you might even want to grab yourself a notepad and pen and get ready to take some notes as we listen in to what Vincent has to share with us today. So with that said, let's not keep him waiting a moment longer. Welcome to the show, Vincent.
Thank you very much.
You are so welcome. So we've got only a certain amount of time, 15 to 20 minutes, Vincent. So let's jump feet first in. Briefly, in your own words, describe the kinds of people who you serve and the various types of situations they find themselves in when they reach out to you for your help.
Yes, thank you very much. Here in Sacramento, about 2/3 of the divorce cases go through the entire process without an attorney. So it's far more common than people think. Sometimes the courts will assist with a self-help center. We're a private equivalent to their self-help center. We handle most kinds of family law issues, and it's basically for people who make too much money to qualify for free help, but who can't or don't want to spend thousands of dollars on what should be simple problems. Most of the people we serve proceed by default, or they have an agreement. Because we're not set up to represent people in contested cases, though we can arrange for attorneys to appear on the spot or for full service if the case really needs that.
Okay, Vincent, before we go any further, it must be said that anything you share with us from this point on is not legal advice or legal assistance. It's purely for the purpose of sharing information. Can we both agree on that, Vincent?
Absolutely.
Okay, then. So with that said, when you think about the people who you help, those people who you just described, what's the most common misconception you come across while you're out there helping them on a day-to-day basis?
Well, people think that court is kind of like what they see on television, where Judge Judy or Judge Joe Brown will get right to the heart of the matter, and it isn't like that. In real life, there are I's to be dotted and T's to be crossed before you can get the government to do anything like issue a family or law order or a judgment. And what has to happen is that before any paperwork goes to a judge for signature, a clerk has scoured that file for problems, and likely for the first time. And if there's a problem with any of the paperwork that you submit, the clerk will just send it back to you to fix, but they don't have the authority to tell you why it's wrong. Often people come to us after their paperwork's been rejected 4 or 5 times because they're so frustrated by how unhelpful the court is.
Mm. So when those people come to you then for your help and they have that misconception or those challenges that you just described, how would you name an example of how you would go about helping somebody, or even name an example of how you've actually helped someone, obviously keeping their confidentiality in mind, to create that transformation, where, they came to you with that misconception, with that challenge, and you were able to create a difference.
Well, often we deal with people who have, say, language barriers because English is not their primary language. And they'll come to us. We have Spanish speakers here, or we also we'll have people come in who bring a friend in to translate. But what happens is they can't do that in the court because those facilities aren't available. And so what we can do, the court just needs to see these certain forms and certain documents, and they have certain things that they need to set up. And they won't go through without all, like I said, all of the T's and the I's being taken care of. Now, earlier this week, I oversaw a interview where a very nice Asian lady, older, was trying to process a divorce. Her husband was back in another country. She had submitted her papers 3 times, and they refused because she hadn't understood all of the questions and how to answer them on the forms. So that's it was something that was pretty easily resolved. One of my paralegals was able to straighten out the paperwork, and that's now going on track to what she wants. Actually, we do about somewhere between 5 and 10% of the uncontested or default judgments in Sacramento County. So we see a lot of people.
My guest today is attorney Vincent Ward, owner of the Help You File Incorporated in Sacramento, California. And today's topic, what he's talking about, is handling your own family law case. Now, with that in mind, Vincent, and for those people who are going through divorce and they're listening in right now, please share one common, and I understand there are many pitfalls, but just please share one common but unknown pitfall that they need to be aware of no matter what situation they find themselves in.
All right. The most important thing that people can do is understand what the court's there for and what it's set up to do and what it's not set up to do. If there's children involved, the main thing that the judge or anybody involved with the court is concerned with is what's good for the children, not the necessarily the parents' rights or who is insulting who. If people are reasonable in thinking of their children when they act, the court won't intervene. And it only intervenes when the court sees that a parent is not acting in the child's best interests or that the parents just can't agree. So what I see people do is forget that as parents, their main job is to care for their children and let those kids grow up as healthy and happy as possible.
So, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Vincent.
Yeah. They run into troubles in mediation or in appearing before the court when all they're doing is throwing mud at the other party. And, if they can't shift their focus away from that to the positive aspects about how they handle the children, then they're certain to come a cropper.
So, Vincent, it goes without saying that successful family law can mean, or a successful divorce process can mean different things for different people. So, when you think about all the clients you've helped over the years to achieve that transformation they were looking for when they first reached out to you for your help, on a deep down personal level, what does it give you and how does it make you feel?
All of the people that work for me take a psychological test, and it's to determine personalities. the commonality that I've found is that we're all what are called guardians. That is, we like society having rules. We like people adhering to those rules. In an older time, we would tend to be the people who sat at the gate and were those who came, who other people came to for counsel. That's the personality type. So what we're looking for is really to make life a little better, make the world a little better. A lot of these conflicts don't need to happen. Sometimes they're there because people are stubborn or because people just don't know. And we like to we like to see things go right. Especially, I'm particularly rewarded when I see children's lives improved, because you're now put some controls on people who were out of control before.
Spend a brief moment telling us a little bit about your backstory, Vincent, and especially your formal education, and especially your experience as it relates to the topic of family law.
Yes, I was educated through University of Pacific's George School of Law, and graduated and passed the bar in 1979. I think that's 38 years ago. Mm-hmm. And when I started in private practice, basically taking everything. But over the years, I quickly cut down to those things that really appealed to me. I got rid of bankruptcy and personal injury cases, and I found my focus going into family law because, as I said, that was what really interested me. I like to see things put right.
And Vincent, for those people who are listening right now, those people who are going through a divorce, what final thoughts would you like to leave them with before we close out with our last question for today?
My advice would be to know your limitations in doing that. Some issues are very clear, and others have some hidden pitfalls. And you might not know the difference. Now, if you're not sure, some things are very clear. Of course, a couple who's been married for a few years with no significant possessions and no children can certainly manage their own affairs. And the court will just basically rubber stamp whatever they agree to. But if you're not sure, you can certainly shop for attorneys to see if you're looking at any of those hidden pitfalls. If you're not, then I believe people should be able to manage these kinds of issues, especially if they agree with a minimum of government involvement.
Okay then, Vincent, so if there is somebody who has been listening in today and any time in the future, as the show will be online, and they feel they need to know more, they want to know more about handling their own family law case, how would they be able to reach you? What's the best way, Vincent?
Well, online, it's helpyoufile.com. That's a letter U with dashes on either side of it. Mm-hmm. And any way you spell it will come up very high on Google searches. Just type in Help You File. Our phone number in area code 916 is 454-4900.
Fantastic. The time has flown by, Vincent. Unfortunately, we do have to go. I feel like we're just warming up and that you could share so much more with all those years of working in the area of family law. However, we do have to go. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we have been listening to attorney Vincent Ward. Thank you so much for sharing so generously with us today, Vincent. You have certainly demonstrated that you are a true educator and advocate for your client's success. So thank you.
Thank you.
You are so welcome, my friend. And I'd also like to say a big thank you to you, the listener. Without you, well, we wouldn't have anybody to speak to. So thank you so much for joining us on this short but very insightful and informative conversation with one of the leading attorneys in the Sacramento, California area today. Again, as a reminder, his name is Vincent Ward. Please do check him out. He's shared his phone number. Visit his website. There are some great resources on there for you. After listening to Vincent today, I'm sure that you are going to be in good hands. So that's it for today, folks. Again, my name is Stewart Andrew Alexander, and we'll be back shortly with some more leading family law professionals in this, our series of Let's Talk Divorce Conversations. So until then, take care, have a great day, and we'll talk real soon.
Thank you for tuning in to Impact Makers Radio. To listen to all past, present and future industry thought leaders and trendsetters, visit us at impactmakersradio.com.